Hi guys, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to see planning versus market economy under general economics category. Alright. So now what is meant by planning or market? Guys, there are different types of economies in the world. Maybe we can say three major categories over there. One will be capitalism, one will be socialism, and one will be mixed economy. Alright. So now in this lecture, we are going to talk about two isms. One is capitalism and socialism. So the other name for socialism is planned economy, and the other name for capitalism is market economy. That's why we have given the heading as planning versus market. So it is nothing but socialist versus capitalist. That is what we are going to see today. So we will see what is meant by socialistic economy, what are its characters, and what could be the merits and demerits of the same. And at the same time, what is meant by capitalism and what are the characteristics, again what is the pros and cons, and then the comparison between these two economies. All right, now first we will see what is a planned economy. The other name for planned economy is nothing but socialistic economy. All right, guys, understand, when the name says planned, everything is planned by whom? Here, government. All right. So the government owns everything. The government owns everything. All right. So whatever it is, they decides what to produce, for whom to produce, how to produce, and if for what are the technologies they should employ. So everything here is decided by the government. All right, so now what they will do, they will allocate the resources, they will decide what has to be done, they will decide who has to buy what, everything will be decided by the government. They own everything, all the production capacities they own, government owns all production facilities. All right, so they manufacture goods, they provide services, they provide everything what the society needs. And again it will go to whom? The people, the workers over there. All right, so the government determines everything, what is required, what is to be done, how it has to be done, when it has to be done, for whom it has to be done. Everything will be decided by whom? Government. The sole authority here will be whom? Government. All right, see here, they determine their want, needs, resources, people, competition, where, when, everything. And they owns what? The factories means nothing but means of production, guys. We have seen what are the factors of production, how we have to produce and everything. All right, so everything will be owned by whom? The government. All right, that is by the people. Right, now government will produce, people will consume. So in planned economy, the major characteristic or one of the important characteristic is everything is controlled, everything is owned by the government. All right, now the characteristics, if we see, first one, collective ownership. That is why I said it is owned by whom? Government. There is no private properties here, there is no private entrepreneurship is encouraged here. So everything will be owned by whom? The government. So that is called as collective ownership. All right, second one is centrally planned authority. Yes, so guys, understand, in any economy we always talk about four major economic problems, that is called as what to produce, for whom to produce, what to produce, for whom to produce. All right, and how to produce, and what are we going to do for our future growth. So these are all the main problems of any economy. So all these three things or all the main problems are decided or controlled by one authority, and that authority is nothing but government. So that is why we call that a centrally planned authority. There will be a commission, there will be a department, there will be a group of officers who will decide who has to do what, how has to be done, and when it has to be done, and which place we have to do it, what are the resources to be allocated, what are the minimum wages to be given to the workers. All right, so all those things are planned, everything is planned. Everything is planned by whom again? It is by the government. Next, absence of consumer choice. What does it mean, guys? Guys, understand. Socialism government will become like a dictator or dictates. It dictates what you have to buy also will be told by whom? A government. So there won't be any choice for the consumer. All right, and because everything is owned by the government, there is no competition. If everything is owned by the government, there is no competition. If government owns it, it doesn't mean that they will have variety of choices which they will offer for their consumers. No, if you take one or two, it will be there only one. That particular product will be there or that particular service will be there. So there won't be any choices for the consumer to choose between which one they wanted. So there won't be any freedom or there won't be any choice for the consumer left. All right, in the planned economy. Right? Relatively equal income distribution. They claim that they are trying to reduce the gap between haves and have nots. Guys, equal income distribution means they are talking about the classes of the society. Always there are a gap between the classes. In local language, if I want to tell, rich and the poor. Correct? Rich and the poor. All right. We used to term it as haves and have nots. All right. So now this socialistic government or socialistic economy, what they're trying to say here is we are trying to reduce this because since it is everything is owned by the government, so we ensure that there will be a fair play. We ensure what? There is a fair play, and everybody gets their choice, everybody gets their income, everybody gets that certain level of income. All right. So relatively, they are not telling that everybody will have the same. No, relatively equal income distribution. There won't be, too much of fluctuations in the, classes in the society. One will be like, super rich and one will be like a super poor. So we try to reduce that. They won't say there is no such things, but they try to reduce it. Their main aim is to reduce that gap. All right. So that's why they are telling that relatively equal income distribution. I try to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. I make sure that everybody is having a same level, not same level, or maybe a where everybody can access to everything. All right. So that is what we can say. The socialistic economy will aim at that. Next one is minimum role of price mechanism or market forces. Guys, understand market forces is nothing but demand and supply. All right. Price mechanism means, guys, whenever demand increases and supply remains same, the price may go up. If the prices are going up, again demand will come down, supply will increase. So what will happen? Based on that price, your demand and supply will get adjusted and automatically your market will be adjusted. All right. Say for example, if price keep on increasing, then demand will come down. All right. So what will happen? Again, when there is no demand, again supply, when the price increasing, as a supplier, you tend to supply more. Okay, but as a buyer, you will buy less. So what happens when there is more supply but there is no demand? Automatically prices will come down. So this mechanism will always happen in your market to adjust, all right, on its own. But here, everything is planned by whom? Government. So here, who is the supplier? Government is the supplier. All right. So when government decides they want to supply this much, means they'll supply only that much, irrespective of the prices. All right. So here the role of price is very less. It won't play much part in the market or in the economy. All right. So that is why it is called as minimum role of price mechanism. Guys, understand price mechanism means it controls your demand and supply. Price always controls your demand and supply. At higher prices, you as a supplier, you will supply more. But as a buyer, you will buy less. This is the normal phenomena. But when the supplier is the government and there is no competition and everything is decided by the government, in that case, tell me guys, will price play a role over there? Obviously no, na? Correct. So that is why we are telling minimum role for what? A price mechanism. So these are all the characteristics of which economy, guys? Planned economy. So collective ownership, centrally planned authority, no choice for the consumer, relatively equal income distribution, and minimum role of price mechanism. All right. Now, see here, I have given merits and demerits of the socialistic economy. Redistribution of income. That is what redistribution of income and redistribution of wealth. See here, closing the gap between the poor and the rich. Guys, here that is what I have to ensure that all people are having what? At least their needs. I should not let them do, die in starvation, or I should not let them, starve. No, I should try to get how much ever possible. I try to redistribute the wealth. I'll make sure that in my country or in my economy, everybody is having certain level of, income. All right. So that is the main motto of which one? Socialism. That is where redistribution of income, redistribution of wealth. I will take from the excess place and I will give it to the where it is required. I will spend over there. All right. So my main aim is to close the gap between what? Rich and the poor. Improvements in social stability. His main aim of socialism is, public welfare, because everything is owned. Why everything is owned by the government? Because I have to make sure nobody is exploiting my people. I have to take care of that. So my main motto is what? Public welfare. So societal stability. I have to bring my economy, I have to bring my people, I have to bring my country to a certain level. All right. So improvements in the social stability. See, assurance of supply with important goods for daily life. Yes. Assurance of access to medical facilities, free health care. Money is used where it is most urgently needed. I won't exploit. I wanted my people to have a good life. That's it. If I want to put it in single line, I wanted my people, my country to lead a good and peaceful life. That's it. People may regain trust into the government. Firms do not need to be profit maximizing anymore. Yeah, guys, whenever there is a profit motive, obviously there will be exploitation. There will be exploitation. So I try to avoid that exploitation. Why? Because I don't have any profit motive. So, all right. So, next, welfare state. Yes, welfare will be given. Public welfare will be given what? A maximum importance. Security regarding the supply of energy, minimum basic income. Yes, at least I will provide something for my people. I will not let my people die of what? Starvation or hunger. So minimum wages, this minimum wages itself has come from socialism, guys. Where now everywhere we are talking about minimum wages, right? From where we got that? Socialism only. They said that at least this much they should get per day, or per month, or 15 days or 10 days as per the law. All right. So they provide that this much our employee should get, worker should get. So that is, these are all the advantages of socialism. Now when we saw when we have seen so many characteristics and advantages, do they have any disadvantages? Of course, yes. What could be? Guys, understand, when everything is owned by the government, or when everything is done for the public welfare, obviously there will be, monopoly, natural monopoly will arise, and there is no competition. Definitely, quality won't be there. People don't have a choice. All right. At one point of time, it will become like a dictatorship. All right. So, absolutely, there will be no freedom. All right. And what happens here again, when government is doing it for a welfare, obviously the resources will not be used efficiently. Now you may have a doubt, how come government is only using? No, then how come there won't be any efficient, how there will be inefficiency in utilizing the resources? Guys, understand, when we use it for a profit motive, when we are using it in a profit motive, for every penny, every paisa we will count. Okay. So if I save this cost, can I, because every cost is saved, a rupee saved is my profit. Correct. But when your motive is not profit and when your motive is welfare, would you care about the cost? No. Correct. So it may lead to what? Inefficiency also. Right? Because you take a classic example, guys, I'll tell you. When you switch on your light in a broad daytime, all right, when you switch on your light at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, when is a sun, when there it is a broad daylight, is there, still you switch on your light, immediately your father or you may switch off the light, you will say, who will pay current bill? Correct. With morning, why are you switching on the light? You will ask or not. Why? Because it is yours. So for you, you have to save your cost. Correct. But tell me at the same time, when we go out, all right, street lights, even if it is in the 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, some street lights are on, right? Would you care to switch it off that street lights? Even though there is a switch below behind that pole, if you go and check in the pole, there will be a switch. Even though if there is a switch, we won't mind to switch it off because that is a government property. It is a simple mentality, right? Because they will take care. Correct. So what is happening over there? Inefficiency is there. So the light is still going on. The cost is still increasing over there. Why? Because there is no profit motive for them. Correct. So that is why this is just an example to make you understand when government is doing with the welfare activity, definitely there is no profit motive there. Means obviously there will be some inefficiency in the allocation of resources, or they may lead to increase in the cost of production also. All right, so now we will see what are the cons of socialism, guys. See here, history has shown that socialism regimes often fail, of course, because it leads to dictatorship or monopoly. Higher taxes for people who earn higher salaries. Yes, because I'm redistributing the income, redistributing the wealth. My main aim is to do that. So that's why they will charge high taxes. People may lose the incentive to work hard. Yes, everything will be taken care by whom? Government. Free market forces usually work better than centrally. Yes, guys, and that's what I told. Always the market will adjust according to the prices, according to the demand and supply. But when it is taken care by, everything is done by the government, obviously there will be certain friction in the market. People may get lazy. Yes, too much power for politicians. I said again, it goes to what? Dictator rule. Nightmare for the companies. Why? Because private choices are not there. Obviously when the government will say what, so that they always it will be there. Firms may relocate to other countries with different political regimes. Investors may refrain from investing in socialistic countries. Yes, currency problems will be there. Sovereign default and may not be sustainable in the long run. So these are all the demerits of socialism. All right. Now I'm going with the market economy. So now what is meant by market economy? It is nothing but capitalistic economy. Guys, here's if you see, and I have put everything is owned by government in the planned economy. Here it is just the opposite. Here, private people play a major role. Entrepreneurs, private industrialists, private entrepreneurs, private investors will play a major role. All right. So there it will be owned by private people, entrepreneur and capital. They will be owning all what? Your factory, that is all factors of production. They will run the production. They will decide what to produce. They will decide when to produce. They will decide how to produce. They will decide for whom to produce. Everything who will decide? Private capitalists will decide. Private investors will decide. Private industrialists will decide. Entrepreneurs will decide. All right. Then what is them for in return? Profit. Their main motive under here is profit. Their main motive under here is what? Profit. So what is meant by market economy or capitalistic economy? Everything is owned by private individuals, private people, private capitalists. So everything is owned by means what? Your main economic activity will be done by them. Then what government will do? Government will play a regulatory role over there. An observer, that's it. They just watch, that's it. They will become an administrator or they'll play a regulator role in that economy. Government plays very minimal role in market economy. Everything is decided by the private individuals or private capitalist. All the economic problems, say what to produce, whom to produce, and how to produce, will be decided by the market itself. Decided by the market itself means what? What markets wanted, they will do it. What is who is market here? Consumer. So consumer has absolute choice. Consumer has absolute freedom, and private entrepreneurs has absolute freedom. They can produce whatever they want. If whatever people wanted, they will produce that. All right, and in return what they will get is profit. So here the main motive or drive is profit. So profit is the main motive for the entrepreneurs or capitalist. All right. Now, what are the characteristics? First thing is profit motive. Since everything is done by the private parties, definitely they will not do it for social service. Obviously, no. When I am doing or when you are doing for in doing any activity, obviously the ultimate aim of that would be what? Profit. I should earn something in return, right? Otherwise, why should I do that activity? Correct. So profit motive is the main aim of capitalism. Next, private property. Yes, everything is owned by whom? The private capitalist. All the factories, all the industries, all the factors of productions. Everything is carried out by the private individuals. Government will play a very, very, very minimal role under capitalism. Consumer sovereignty, guys, they have sovereignty means they have freedom, they have power. Consumer has a power over that. Consumer decides what they wanted there. Unlike in socialism, government will tell you have to consume this. No, here consumer will say, I wanted this. So based on the consumer choice only, the private people will manufacture. If consumers are telling they wanted, guns, means they will manufacture guns. If they say they wanted something else, they will manufacture something else. So here, the consumer has absolute freedom. The consumer has an absolute choice. The consumer has an absolute power. He decides what he wanted. Nobody dictates him. All right. So that is another characteristics of capitalism. Guys, understand. When your aim is as an investor, as a capitalist, as an industrialist, when your aim is profit, all right, now what will you produce? You will produce the things which will be sold, which will get sold in the market. Correct? So which will get sold in the market means what people are demanding. Correct? So now, as an entrepreneur, you will manufacture the goods which will be sold or which is demanded by the consumers. Correct? So from where you are linking the demand. So what decides you to manufacture? The demand. Correct. So that is why consumer has a sovereign upper hand over there in capitalism. Whatever the consumer wanted, that is what will be manufactured by whom? The industrialist or the capitalist or the private entrepreneurs. All right. So what consumer wanted, that will be manufactured. What consumer demands, that will be produced. All right. So that will be decided by whom? Consumers. What they wanted, what they are demanding, the same thing will be manufactured or produced by the private capitalist. That's why it is called as consumer sovereignty. Next one, freedom of enterprise. Yes, since it is everything is owned by the private parties, always there is a choice or there is a freedom for the private people, freedom for the entrepreneurs. There is no need for them to be okay, government has to tell this, government has to, no, they can decide what they wanted, they can do what they want, how much they have to produce, when they have to produce, how to produce, every freedom they have, all freedom they have. So freedom of enterprise, anybody can start if they have money. They can start the production, they can start the manufacturing activity. Next, competition. Of course, yes. Since it is owned by the private and government plays only a very minimal role like an administrator or regulator, there will be a stiff competition. Whoever wants to do, they will come and start. So always what happens, there will always be a neck-to-neck competition under capitalism. All right. So because guys, it is not that only one person will be a manufacturer or producer. No, there will be many people who are having what? Capital, and they wanted to start what? Business. So what happens, since everything is driven by the market, guys, understand why there is a stiff competition means in capitalism, the main who decides what? The consumer decides what he wanted. Based on their preferences only, what has to be manufactured will be decided by the entrepreneurs. All right. If people are wanting one particular product, it is not that only one fellow or one company will be manufacturing it. No, whoever has that capability, everybody start manufacturing it. Obviously there will be a stiff competition. All right. Next one is income inequality. Yes, that is given of capitalism actually, because everything is owned by private, private proper owned by private individuals or private capitalists or private entrepreneurs. And the tagline itself goes like this: rich become richer and richer, poor become poorer and poorer. Obviously, there will be an inequality, that is a given of capitalism, because everything is owned by the private people and their main motive is nothing but profit. So one side, the one group will be keep on accumulating their income, profit. The other side, the exploited community, the exploited workers community or workers class, or other side, the consumer class, will definitely be in the darkest side. All right. So inequality of income is a given of capitalism. All right. Next, I have given merits and demerits, guys. Here we see pros of capitalism. Capitalism gives people an incentive to work hard. Yes. Why? Because, if you work hard, definitely you will get good, returns, because profit is your main motive. And when you work hard, definitely you will be recognized in your organization. People are allowed to accumulate wealth, right? This is the reason for income inequality. Lower tax rates compared to other political regimes. Yes, because everything is owned by private. So to motivate them, their government will charge only lower taxes. Individual performance is valued, encourages competition, efficiency of the market is maximized. Yes, because when you have a competition, definitely you will have a quality products, right? And definitely you will use your resources, since your aim is profit motive, you will use your resources efficiently to save some cost. You will not misallocate, so because of that, efficiency will be maximized. Good environment for international investors. Yes, investments will improve. Capitalism encourages technological progress. Yes. Yes or no? Yes, because I am private, I always try to innovate something. I always try to save some cost, reduce some cost. So where and all is possible for me to introduce technology, I'll introduce technology. Buildings will be of better quality on average. Capitalism can help to increase what? GDP, your gross domestic product. Capitalism provides high level of freedom. Yes, that is a main thing, because everything is owned by whom? Private people. So freedom is their choice. Freedom is by name itself it comes, right? Encourages international relationship. Yes. Low consumer prices, better quality of, because of competition, prices will be less, and quality of products will be better. Now when we talk about cons, capitalism may increase income and wealth gap. Yes. Inequality is a given. Excessive focus on what? Consumption. Yes. It lead to more homelessness. Yes, guys, that is true. And lead to insufficient welfare. Guys, here the government plays very minimal role. So what happens here? Since the government is playing very minimal role here, public welfare will be given for a toss, will be taken for a toss. That's it. So welfare will be very less. All right. So here they are not talking about minimum wages. Obviously, workers will get what? Exploited. All right. So always the worker class will always be in a fear over there, guys. Obviously, in your capitalism, worker class will suffer more, right? Because they don't know when they will be fired, when they will be removed from the work. So there is no guarantee that they will get, there is no, their job is secured, or there is no guarantee about their minimum wages. All right. So it is, workers are too much exploited under capitalism. You may have seen even in our place also, or even in our, uh, current scenario, you may face all these things, you may see all these things, guys. All right. Capitalism may lead to private monopolies. Yes, sometimes it may lead to what? Private monopolies. All right. Higher unemployment rates during economic down. Yeah, whenever there is an economic downturn means like how we had corona, we had a recession like that. No. So whenever they had, immediately they will fire what? Employees. They will lay off the people without any reason, because they couldn't earn profit. For main aim is what? Profit. I have to save some cost, because now it is a recession, nobody is purchasing anything, production is less, so immediately I will remove that employee from work. So what happens? Higher unemployment will be there. All right. Higher rents, higher property prices can increase social tensions. Yes, because welfare is taken for a toss, social security is taken for a toss. Obviously, social tensions will be there in capitalism. People will not get equal chances in life, because inequality is a given of what? Capitalism. May contribute to many environmental problems. Yes, may. Guys, understand when your motive is profit, you go to any extent. You exploit environmental resources, natural resources. You exploit because your motive is what? Profit. So you may go to any extent to do that. Correct? So that is why they are telling here that could be a disadvantage of capitalism. Alright? I hope you understood capitalism, guys. Next, I have given just a comparison here. Ownership, capitalism will be private, socialism will be public, motive, profit, social welfare, freedom of choice, consumer has absolute choice. Here, no choice I can say or limited choices. Enterprises will be owned by individuals. Here, the government. Classes, there always be two class haves and have nots. They try to do for classless society. Competition is there among sellers. Under socialism, there is no competition because everything is owned by the government. Concentration of power, it is with the capitalist, that is private owners, private entrepreneurs. Here it is central authorities. Resources, definitely there will be a misallocation of natural resources. Here there will be a proper allocation. Distribution of income, obviously it is unequal and relatively equal. Government, less or no interference. Very minimal role in capitalism. Here, absolute power. Socialism, government is the sole authority. Who governs the production? Price mechanism. That's what I told you. Your market forces. Because what consumer wanted, that only will be manufactured. So, price mechanism. Here, centrally planning authority government. Personal liberty. Personal liberty that is respected in capitalism. Here, there is no personal choices ignored. Unemployment and inflation, it is observed. They'll just keep a watch. Here, the government has a control, power to control that. Exploitation, it is done by the capitalist. Here, there is no exploitation. And the other name for capitalism is laissez-faire. These are economists. They have described this economy, so that's why it is also named after them. Laissez-faire economy or free market economy. Other names of capitalism. Other names of socialism is command economy or centrally planned economy. I repeat, command economy or centrally planned economy. For capitalism, it is laissez-faire or free market economy. So I hope you understood this, guys. I wish you all the best. Stay tuned to Olive Boards for more update. Thank you, guys.